You're listening to Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technologically advanced silhouette decoy on the market. First Light, the best hunting gear on the planet. Go farther, stay longer. And Ducklander Calls, tradition, education, and quality. Built to hunt.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Union 0430. This is episode 174, and the man, the Traeger man, is back. Mr. Eugene Tendean is joining us tonight. He's got some stuff he wants to talk to us about, all things Traeger, the refuge, obviously, his duck season. So, as we say, there's a full hockey sock full of topics we're going to get into tonight. But quickly, we'll introduce the boys. Philly, as usual, coming to us from Port Perry. Mark coming to us from an undisclosed location in Nova Scotia. And Eugene, you are coming to us from is it the Niagara Escarpment?
No, the Niagara region.
The
St.
Niagara.
Catharines specifically.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Do you forget where I live, Dave?
Yeah,
What's
I
that?
totally forgot where you live. That's exactly why I said that. 100%. Way to call me out. Everybody, you know what? I'm wearing this shirt tonight. And I gotta give, you know what? I'm a horrible friend. And I'll tell you why I'm a horrible friend. Because every week I do a post about the episode that we're releasing that week. And I tag Real Geese because they're a sponsor, Ducklander Calls, First Light, all these people. And you know what? I never ever tag Jeff Coates in this. And Jeff is the voice of Punisher Waterfowl. That angelic voice is what greets the millions of fans every time they start up a new episode. And you know
the same
what?
kind of movie you hear when you hear trailers for, or
Yeah,
same
it's
kind
just-
of voice you hear when you hear trailers for movies.
Yeah.
That kind of angel.
Yeah. It like, I can't believe, and I thought about this the other day, and I was like, man, like I'm not giving Jeff any shout outs whatsoever. Now, if you're in the waterfowling world, I don't think you need a reminder of that voice, because I think that voice is synonymous around North America when it comes to duck hunting. But nonetheless, I should be tagging him, and I will from this point on. So, Mr. Captain Jeffrey Coates, I apologize, and I will rectify. Thank you. So, with all that being said, everybody, however you're listening to us or watching us, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. We did get a lot of comments on last week's episode regarding, I think it was Phil said, hey, listen, if you've made it to the end, just let us know that you've made it to the end. And there was a few people that chimed in and sent me messages and were like, yeah, I made it. I made it all the way to the end. So it was good. So, Eugene, thanks for coming on, buddy. That's a bit of a long-winded intro, but glad to have you on, dude.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
Well, and the fact that I think it was 6 o'clock this morning, I sent you the message saying, hey, you want to do a show tonight? And you were able to clear some schedule. So I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks so much.
No worries.
Listen, I want to talk to you because I'm just seeing your social media now the last day or two, on your recent trip. And I know you went down. There was no duck hunting down, and so for anybody that's
Talia, I think it was closed. It was going to be close to closing. Actually, Emma, who came down for the women's hunt,
Yeah.
she obviously was there, so she's one of my colleagues, and we were going to go hunting and stuff, but it was just a little bit tight. So I'll schedule it for next year and stuff. But I definitely want to go down to Utah to go hunting for ducks and geese.
yeah, I think
Specifically
that's
ducks.
so yeah, down in Salt Lake City. I think that's where the XL boat factory is as well.
Oh, really? Didn't know that.
Remember when we had those guys on and they were talking to us about taking the boats out in the Salt Lake and stuff like that? You remember that? No, Mark.
You know what else is
Phil?
in Utah?
Oh Jesus, here we go. What?
Anytime you order something, at least I can only speak for being a Canadian customer, but anytime you order something from First Light, it comes from Utah.
Bingo. That's true.
This is true. This is true. Big shout out to Logan Williamson, who I had a wonderful conversation with last night. So there, that's done, Logie. So you can't say I don't talk about you on the show. There you go.
That was
You
our
win
little shameless plug for First Light.
Yeah, that's our shameless plug for First Light. So yeah, man, like you went down. So what did you get at? Like you didn't get to do your fly fishing and stuff. So what did you get at while you were down there?
I actually just went tubing to Park City and stuff and just drove around a lot.
Like what do you mean, like tubing, like water park tubing?
No, like they have like a hill there with like tubing and stuff like that, like go in the snow and it's
Oh, like
crazy.
tobogganing sort of.
Tobogganing tubing, yeah.
Yeah,
So I was gonna
okay.
go snowboarding too, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm gonna be back there next year in the fall or in the winter in time. So
And it must have been cool, especially for you having you had hosted Emma up here for our women's hunt, and you sort of kind of dragged her around and showed her what was what, and had some fun with her being an American. Did she like switch it around on you? Did she like call you a Canuck and make fun of you and all that shit? Like what
no,
you
she
were
always
down
does.
there? No,
She
oh,
always
okay.
does.
Oh, she always does anyways.
We're
Okay.
friends like that. That's how we are. So
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Listen, your season, how was your season this year? Like you and Nate White were into him, like into the late part of the season, eh?
yeah, honestly, this is probably the best season we've ever had. It's just everything just fell into place and stuff, and birds were here, and like basically the places we hunt are very easily accessible. Like I can literally go, we can go basically me and Nate have our coffee in the morning. We go to our same spot every once in a while. We don't, it's no scouting. We just kind of go there, hope for the best, and see what happens. But this year has been pretty good. We had some fields in Niagara that loaded up pretty good and got at them. So the freezer pretty full with goose pastrami, duck pastrami, and pepperettes. I just picked up a bunch of meat pies and stuff. So we're loaded.
Wow.
And Mitch
Mark.
Davis got it with you guys a couple times too. Didn't
Yeah,
he?
so we actually invited Mitch Davis. So obviously through Punisher and stuff, we met Mitch, and he lives pretty close by. So we went together and went out with Trevor too. We went out to Long Point. It's been good.
Wow.
Like everybody getting together around the area and stuff. People that we know that are through Punisher and stuff. So it's been pretty cool.
No, that is prety cool. That's and it's good to hear because that was the goal of those camps, right? The goal was to introduce people and get them to know one another and hopefully find a new hunting buddy, right?
Yeah, and
Um,
fishing. So I mean, now ice fishing season's kind of here. I've already been talking to Mitch and stuff about going ice fishing and stuff. So we're looking forward to that. Try to get some whitefish for the Traeger, do some smoking and stuff. So
okay, cool. Um, I don't think anybody is out around here ice fishing yet. I wouldn't be out on the water, out on the hard water here. I don't know, man. We've been having it pretty mild for the last week and a bit. I
yeah,
don't think I'd.
there's guys that are fishing in Simcoe, like Kuchiching, and like I've seen some other people fishing the usual places that freeze up first. But yeah, like where I usually go, like Bear Point, apparently there's really not much ice right now. So
Yeah,
Like you're
it's not so bad.
you're spudding your way out.
yeah, and I really feel bad because I know a couple of outfitters there that are there's Callum and there's Donnie. He's at a Bear Point and stuff. I don't know when they're gonna have their huts out, but it just I feel really bad because those guys rely on these,
Yeah, of course.
getting their huts out and stuff, right? So
Yeah, of course. Mark, what? I seen a picture the other day. You guys got no snow down in Nova Scotia right now?
There's a foot on the ground there now.
Oh, is there? Oh, I
Yeah,
thought I seen.
we had some snow Monday.
What is your temperatures cold though? Or is it a
Today it was
typical
above
East
zero, but
Coast?
it was below zero for most of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So a typical East Coast winter.
yeah,
Just
it's gonna hover near zero for the next 10 days at least. So that's just the way it's gonna be.
okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Philly? Are you because you do some ice fishing too, don't you, Phil?
Oh, buddy, I haven't been out in ages. I actually had like a little like one man clam. which I sold. I literally had to wait for the guy to show up to my house to pick it up before I left to go pick up the boys and head to Habitat Flats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
shit.
like I still have all my stuff. But I'm just like, I got this like one man clam. It's just taking up space in the garage. I'm like, I've never used it. I had one before. There was an incident. There's a reason why they make the tow bars. And so I managed to get a new one and never even like assembled it. So I'm like, get rid of the stupid thing. But like I still
Take
got
it
like
and go.
take it and go. I still got my my couple hand augers and like all my rods and stuff. But it's never really my thing.
No, me either.
Because like, you can't move around. Like you can, but it's a pain in the ass.
What do you
Especially
mean
if
you can't move around? Oh, when you're inside.
You gotta like re-drill holes.
Oh, yeah.
I got two hand augers. That ain't fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I back home I did it back home, but it was for trout, and I don't know, like it was. I enjoyed it back home, but it was a lot easier. Like you didn't have to have all kinds of fancy stuff, and nobody had fishing shelters. You just sat out on the ice and froze to death.
You brought everything out in a 5-gallon pail, and then you flipped it over, and that was your seat.
Yeah.
In Newfoundland, you get a fire going on the shore, and you sit
Wow.
around the fire, and then you hop on the screw, and you fly around your 25 holes, because that's how many holes you have. And you check all your holes.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, good point. Good point. Eugene, so I've been asking people this, especially people in Ontario, just regarding the season, and as usual, we're jumping all over the place here, but you said like this is one of the best years you guys have had, on duck numbers, but is it safe to say like you didn't see your duck numbers until like cold, like at the end of the season?
Oh,
How was
100%.
it?
Yeah, there was a big lull and stuff, and it was towards the end, and like just towards the end of the season. Then you saw all of them, and then it was too late, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, really curious about like late season, what's gonna happen then, like weather wise and stuff. They're here. Nature of the birds are around and stuff, so we'll see what happens. But that
Okay.
can all change in the next little while, right? So
Yeah, I think I may head down to the Hellman County and in for that conservation season for geese, or that winter season for geese. Head down there and probably try and shoot a few birds. But
Come down to my house and smack some.
can you do it in February too?
Yeah.
I didn't
I
know
got a
that.
couple. Yeah, like the only, well, at least like where I am, the only areas that have Sunday gun hunting is like the north shore of Scugog,
Okay.
which is technically like Kawartha
Yep.
Township,
Yep.
and Whitby.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
like
Oh,
like
yeah,
Pick-
I'm totally
Pickering-
coming to you.
Pickering, Oshawa, like I've got a bunch of wheat fields. One of them's in like a very high traffic area. You've actually hunted the
Yeah.
field next to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
should hopefully get into some, especially with the weather the way it's been.
Oh yeah, man.
With the low snow, they'll be able
Yeah.
to find that winter wheat no problem and
Yeah,
give
of
them the
course.
news.
Yeah. Eugene, I just thought about it. Merc, have you and Eugene ever met before?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
you haven't. Oh, well, you'll get to do a personal face to face and merch when we're at the refuge, because for anybody that don't know, we haven't really got into it too much yet, but Eugene works for Traeger, and they are coming to the refuge and setting up a big booth, and Eugene and I were on the phone today actually trying to come up with a plan on exactly what Traeger is going to do with regards to seminars and stuff there, but I think we'll get something squared away, at least, and have some samples of some delicious foods.
I
don't know.
want Eugene's meat in my mouth.
Oh,
You always do.
Yeah, that's a Lorianne horse. That's a Lorianne horse saying right there.
Yeah.
If there ever was one. But I tell you, you got to try those friggin' Oreos that he does. What is it, like bacon wrapped Oreos?
Bacon wrapped Oreos. Can't make it any easier.
Dude, Amazing.
Dude, you can bake and wrap a shoe and make it taste good. So
It's amazing. Bacon wrapped Oreos done on the Traeger. Amazing. So good. So
super
good.
easy.
Yeah. So good. So anyways, yeah, Eugene, so I know it may be a little bit premature because you don't have your solid plan just yet, but from what you do know, for anybody that's coming to the refuge, like, will you guys be selling grills at the
Yes.
at the refuge?
Yep. So we're partnering up with a local dealer called Dixon's Barbecue. They're out of Toronto.
Okay.
They got a bunch of locations there and stuff, and they'll be in the booth, selling Traegers and accessories and whatnot. So all thing Traeger, they'll have available at the show. So
Okay, cool. And is Traeger coming out with anything new this year? Like, is there any new grills this year or like,
right now, yeah, we have the Flat Rock coming right now. There's a little bit of a delay on it, but that should be coming this year. And coming soon for new product.
um is that the one that we had at the camp this fall that we were doing
Yes.
breakfast on? Oh yeah.
That's the one.
That's
Yeah.
that thing is slick as
Yeah.
snot. That was a beauty piece of kit, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
So that'll be up for grab. I would think that with you guys being there, doing some seminars, having some samples, like this whole this smoking meat. I don't know how to say it without sounding like a fucking weirdo, but this whole, you know, wood-fired grills and smoking meat and making duck pastrami and goose pastrami, like, it seems to have just taken off over the last couple years, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with, the equipment is getting better, pellets are getting better, and then there's some pretty high-profile people, much like yourself, that's out there and traveling around and showing off your wares. So I would think that the Traeger booth is going to be pretty popular at the refuge.
Yeah, that's the thing with Traeger. They're a lot of outdoor stuff. We go hand in hand hunting and fishing. Like we have influencers or anglers and hunters, and like if you think about it, all the meat you harvest, you can cook it on a Traeger, right?
Yeah,
Doing so many different things, and obviously everyday food as well too makes it good. So
yeah, absolutely. Mark, when it comes to, like, do you do a lot of that sort of stuff, Mark? Like, I know, like, you in the past you make your own sausage and you make your own pepperettes, that sort of stuff. But do you do any of that smoking and making those pastrami fucking things and all that shit?
I did. I haven't for a couple of years. There's been a lot going on the last couple of years.
Yeah,
So when I was back in Newfoundland last year, my brother picked up I'm not going to name it, but another brand pellet
yeah,
grill,
yeah,
and I'm not a fan of that one. I can see why Traeger is good and this one's not, but it didn't. It took forever to heat up and
oh
to get
yeah,
a temperature, and it didn't. It just didn't seem to work that well. So that just operating that grill caused me to want a Traeger
yeah, yeah,
because the
yeah, cool.
flavor would be there, but everything else wasn't.
Right, right. Um, but when it comes to, like, you and your wife, like, it was a weekend ordeal, right? Like, when you were making sausage and pepperettes.
Sausage is a full day.
Yeah,
If I wanted to make pepperoni, that's also a full day. I mean, I was only using a Bradley smoker, so I was limited by the size of the smoker for what I could do, right?
yeah,
But I could do jerky, and then I do sausage, and I do pepperoni and whatnot. So, but
okay,
that to mix up a batch of sausage, I would do, for me, a large batch would be like 50 to 60 pounds. So
yeah,
that takes a full day between preparing, mixing, stuffing, and then packaging. That's a full day's work for two
yeah,
people.
yeah, for sure.
So then you got to
Um,
add in smoking.
and then you got a what?
Then if you add in smoking to that,
Oh yeah, and then smoke
right?
it on top of that, right?
Yeah.
Philly, you've got a Traeger, I think, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh,
I
for
had
fuck's sakes.
I know I'm not giving you a stone age. I had a side box smoker
Yeah.
and then I end up selling it. But I am going to get a Traeger at some point.
Don't worry, we'll
I
get it
can't,
fixed up.
I can't disappoint Eugene.
No.
Well, no, that's
I
right.
will.
Well,
It's just some point.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, do it.
I've
'Cause
had some of the
Eugene's
Traeger
meat.
seasonings. I've had some of the
Yeah.
Traeger barbecue sauces, care of Mr. Eugene,
Yeah.
and they are phenomenal.
The apricot is my favorite.
But I
Eugene
need
knows it
to
because he hooked me up this year.
I need to make a Traeger happen so I can start smoking things. Like they say, like, you know, when you get into your 40s, you either take up like World War history or you smoke meat.
What
No,
our
that's
model.
yeah, yeah. No, that's very true. Like, it is very true because you look at our circle of friends, like guys like Trevor Davidson and Mitch Davis, and those guys, like they're like into it, like Steve Horse into it. Like these, I like it too. I like to eat, but I don't put the time into it that those guys do. And then, Eugene, I guess, like, do you not get sick of cooking? Like that's the thing. Like that's just, like
You
you
better
gotta.
not.
I
You
don't
gotta
know.
eat, buddy.
I like doing it. It's funny sometimes. It's just like, well, who's cooking? And everybody stares at you. I'm like, oh, I guess I'm cooking it. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
You want to fillet fishes? Well, you guys can do that, and I'll cook. I'll do the brisket. But
right.
like you saw when we had the ladies camp, like the brisket was easy. I put it on at night. We all went to bed. Next
Yeah,
day, wrapped it. You know what I mean? Like easy peasy stuff like that. Switched it over. Did the pulled pork? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's so
Well,
versatile, so easy to do. Like
yeah, and I think that comes with a bit of experience too.
oh,
Too, though,
100%.
Eugene, right? Like you
It's
you had prepared a lot of stuff beforehand. You had,
yeah, time management is obviously a big thing, but just kind of knowing your temperatures and knowing, and like everything's different. Every brisket's different. Every pork butt's gonna be different. But there's common ground, right? So
yeah. Um, so your plan now for, and again, jumping all over the place, but your plan now for your February hunts, that'll be just you and Nate White again, or
whoever,
whoever.
yeah,
Yeah, wherever the birds are.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just gonna kind of wait until start seeing birds and stuff because they're gone now. Like I don't. Who knows where they are, but
Yeah.
see what
Um,
happens.
we've obviously in the spots where you're not allowed to hunt, that's where the birds are around
Of
here.
course.
But yeah, of course, right? Um, oh, I don't know, man. Like it's just to me, it seemed, and again, I sound like a broken record, but to me, it seemed like the bird numbers aren't there. And I was talking. Actually, I had a meeting with some DU volunteers the other night, Tuesday night, and was talking to one of them and a big hunter in the area too, and I was asking him, and he said divers, like the number of divers that were around was off the charts.
Mm.
He said, but puddle ducks and Mark, you all know where I'm talking about here, but he's got a place over on Amherst Island, and they did not see puddle ducks at all over there. But divers, lots and lots of divers, but just not seeing the puddle ducks, not seeing the mallards, and then when they did show up, it was like what you were saying, Eugene. Like they showed up almost too late, right?
Yeah.
They're around, but you can't shoot them. So, which is good for the population because that means it survived and probably a better hatch come the spring. So it's all good for the duck numbers, which is amazing. It's frustrating sometimes when you're chasing and you're trying to find them, and then that's your thing. But you just can't find them. I think I'm switching next year. I'm just going to take a break from chasing ducks and start hitting the fields for some geese. I think that's my plan next
Really?
year. Yeah, I think so. It's just for a couple of reasons, right? And you guys and Phil and Merck, you guys know it. You know that I'm not comfortable going alone anymore on the water in a boat. So there's that side of the duck hunting. And then I'm not seeing the numbers of ducks. I scout, I drive around, but I'm not I'm not going to burn fuel for the sake of burning fuel is more or less what I'm getting at. So for me in my area, it'd be a little bit easier to chase honkers than it would be to ducks. And I guess you can always hope that you get a flock of mallards come into the field sometime. You can always wish for that.
Yep.
Or find a spot like Phil's got where he can hunt geese on the field one day and then the next day just go down to the watering hole right on the same property and smash a limit of greenheads. That'd be fun too.
It is.
It is, he
I
says.
highly recommend it, especially with a 28 gauge. It is a blast.
Oh my God, here he goes.
And if
Gotta get
if anyone's looking for a 28 gauge, feel free to reach out to me,
Yeah,
please.
Phil is trying to finance a new hobby.
Purchase
A new, yeah. So
more toys, just more toys. Someone
More
buy
to-
this stupid gun from me.
So Phil can get a Traeger.
no, not a Traeger, not yet. Anyways,
That's on the list, but it's a little further down.
yeah, a little further down. Yeah, absolutely.
Just ran with it.
Boys, I gotta apologize to you because I'm not on my game tonight. I'm a little dragging here. I got a bunch of other things that's bouncing around in my head, and I can't seem to keep a conversation going tonight. I'm all over the place. So, feel free to rescue me from this downward spiral that I'm in right now.
See, isn't that like every show though?
No, well, maybe it is.
Go off on tangents.
Yeah, maybe I'm always struggling to keep the conversation going, but tonight it seems like it's painful, which sucks for the listeners. But then again, I was going to say sucks for the listeners because they had to listen to us last week, but a few people told me that they fucking loved the show last week, so which surprised the hell out of me because it was just us three assholes on, and I was like, "There's no way anybody's going to like listening to us."
So Eugene,
Yeah.
where is it you live again?
St. Catharines. So like Niagara Falls,
Okay.
Niagara
Yeah.
region.
I know St. Catharines. Yeah,
Nice.
beautiful area. Yeah, you hunt on Lake Ontario. Sometimes?
Lake Ontario for some divers and stuff, but mostly around just the Niagara region, Niagara in the Lake, not St. Catharines, but like Niagara in the Lake, Waynfleet area. So
Yeah. The old canal. You allowed to hunt on that?
no, I wish. That's where they all roost.
Yeah,
The
I
old
know.
Niagara Canal, you mean?
The old Welland.
Because I've heard Nate talk about an area down there on a river or something that you can't hunt. But he said like that's where all the birds roost up to.
Yeah, the upper Niagara, lower Niagara, you can hunt. There's just certain spots you can and cannot hunt there. So
And of
I haven't
course
really gone to that area too much. So
okay.
How far away from the falls are you allowed to hunt?
about 50 minutes. Yeah, exactly right.
I've been out fishing the lower Niagara, like Queenston area.
Yeah.
Like they're fishing for Lakers and stuff. And literally, I guess the season, obviously everything's different here and there, but like the season on the New York side is still going. So
Yeah.
like literally guys are drifting down the river, smashing Lakers. And because you're not under power, guys are like dragging a half dozen bluebills out the back of the boat, shooting divers. They got literally a fishing rod in one hand and a shotgun in the other.
Yep.
It is hilarious.
Cast and
That's
blast.
awesome. Cast them blast.
Yeah.
Hashtag you heard it here first.
Yeah. It is something. And this was in like March, I think, or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But yeah, like guys are smashing bluebills and I'm like ducking and like, holy shit.
Well, I think Ohio's last day for ducks is today, actually. I think they're done. Today is their last day. So Ohio's on what? On Lake Michigan?
Erie.
Erie? Oh,
It is.
Erie. Yeah, you're right. It is Erie. Yeah, Lake Erie. So
Well, I know the boys, the outfitter that we hunted with last January, like down like the Boot Heel, Arkansas area, they're still going.
yeah, but those guys don't start until like
Like December, November.
yeah,
Yeah.
November, December. So
And they only get 60 days.
oh yeah, I guess so. have you guys heard it much more, Eugene? Like, because I think down your way is where they're talking like this possible sandhill crane hunt in
Yeah, I
Ontario.
saw the talks about that with the OFAH or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. If I was, if I were to go crane hunting, I'd go to Manitoulin Island. There's a lot of cranes there. A
Oh
lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tons.
Um, and but I think like Southern Ontario, Southwestern Ontario, and up north, or Northern Ontario, I guess, along that border. I think that's the area that they're talking about, right? Like,
Okay.
I don't think it's coming. Like, I don't think the Ottawa Valley is going to see a sandhill crane hunt anytime soon because I don't think the numbers are there just yet. Um, but on the western side of Ontario, I believe the numbers are. But the thing I'm curious about is it going to be a bag limit, sort of kind of attached to your regular daily limit of birds, or is it going to be a tag system like a swan hunt down in the States?
Like
That's
turkey.
or like turkey, because let's face it, like um there's a lot of hunters in Ontario. Now I know that pales in comparison to some of the number of hunters in the states in particular states, but there's a lot of hunters in Ontario, and a new species to hunt will draw out a few extra people. And I just think if everybody is out trying to smash these cranes, it's going to decimate the population right off the bat. Don't you like? Am I wrong in thinking that, or what?
Well, half the people got to learn that. Well, three-quarters of people got to learn how to do it
Well, yeah,
to start with, and they're gonna, dare I say it, they're gonna manage it. They're not
yeah,
just gonna throw the cranes to the wolves, so to speak.
yeah.
Right?
But that's what I mean, right? Like, is it going to be part of you're allowed one crane a day in your bag limit, and a possession of say five? What is that what it's going to be, or is it going to be like Phil said, like turkey? You get two tags for the year for crane, and then that's it, and you wait until next year.
I don't know which way they're going to go. It depends on where you are and what the population of cranes is. The Ottawa Valley crane population that migrate through there is going up.
It is
Right?
going up. Yeah, absolutely, it is.
It went from when I was first hunting up there to us barely ever seeing them to fields with hundreds of them.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, hundreds,
Hundreds?
hundreds. Like we would see 300-400 cranes in a field. That's in the Ottawa Valley,
Yeah,
and that was when I left there.
yeah,
When was I last hunting up in the Ottawa Valley? It's been a while.
yeah, yeah. It's been a while.
So I would imagine with no hunting, the population's going up, right?
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. What? What?
So
So, do you have a population down where you like in southern Ontario, Eugene? Like, is there a population of crane around you?
To be honest with you, I haven't seen any in my area. I'm not too sure about like surrounding areas, but for Niagara, you see them, but not too many. Like you don't. It's not like they're
Yeah,
gonna be popping around a lot.
yeah. Like I think I've seen less than a half a dozen around here,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean much. But
yeah.
that's all I see. What about you, Phil? Are you seeing crane?
So the only time I've really seen them and like pay attention, like this was like two like legit flocks of them, was that field that you and Mark hunted.
Really, eh?
I was hunting, I remember if I was hunting the field or the pond, whatever the case may be. And legit, like there goes a flock of like a dozen to 15, and like a half hour later, there went another one.
Really, eh?
Now I know at my father-in-law's place up around the corner, like he's seen, a pair, a
Yeah.
triple. That's it. But yeah, like I guess they're around, but not
Well,
a
yeah.
colossal number. It ain't like the Canadas, let me tell you.
No, no, no. But
No.
with all that being said, though, and I'm not trying to throw shade on it, or be a negative Nancy.
Need to be a positive Polly.
A positive Polly, that's me. I am a optimist. I am a glass half full type of guy, Phil. Um,
We'll go with that.
yeah, but it's interesting to see that the OFAH has been advocating for this for a number of years from the way I read that press release. They've been advocating for this for a number of years, and Canadian Wildlife Service, who I might add is joining us in the refuge, just found out the other day. Thank you, Canadian Wildlife Services. But the fact that they are agreeing to it now, obviously the numbers are there, right? Because like you said, Mark, they're going to manage it. They're not going to allow um, a bunch of people to go start harvesting an animal that the population can't handle it. That's not the way they work. So it to me it's a success story that historically that species of bird is not around here, and climate change, whatever, loss of habitat, you name whatever caused them to start migrating this way. And now you have a healthy enough population that there's going to be a hunt. It's a success story. It really is.
Right, and we talk about this, but we say the hope is there that they manage it properly.
Yeah.
We not always certain decisions get made at certain times that change the balance of a population. And for some, needless to say, in Ontario, when they changed the hunting regulations for turkey, it affected turkey. It definitely did.
Like which regulation? Because this is one that I want to talk about.
Okay, so when they dropped the specific training for turkey hunting,
yeah, the course.
So you actually had to have it on your license that you could hunt turkey.
Yeah.
When they dropped that, and literally anyone could go hunt turkey.
Yeah.
Now, it did change the balance.
It did. I agree.
In the turkey hunting world.
Yeah.
For Ontario. For sure.
But in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, and take it for what it's worth, but I think the ministry done an amazing job with managing the turkey population in Ontario, considering in the 60s it was next to nil, right?
Right.
To where it is now, where and Mario Friendly was on the show here a couple weeks ago, and Mario Friendly even talked about it. He was like, listen, I know down in the southern states there's places where turkey hunting is big. But buddy, I'm going to tell you, for anybody that hasn't hunted Ontario is a prime spot to be hunting turkey. It really is. It really, really is. Like that is something that Ontario can hang its hat on. That they really have managed that turkey population correctly. And I am with you. I think that the course was enough of a deterrent to keep certain people away. Because they had to pay money, and ultimately that's what it was. It was, well, I'm not paying money to go shoot. I'm already paying money for my license. I'm already paying money for this. I'm already paying money for that. I'm not paying money for a course. And I'm sure that's what the attitude was.
Yeah, it's not so much about the money that it cost people. It's the fact that you went from having everybody who had a turkey tag was educated to a point. And yes, they said since after that, they've added the turkey training to the hunter training.
Yeah.
In order to be able to get a hunting license. But most of the people already had their hunter courses, right? And so they kind of got grandfathered in, and they had no turkey training, right?
Yeah.
The introduction of the wild turkey, I guess, back into Ontario is one of the greatest success stories in existence for animal reintroduction and whatnot.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah. No, they did a great job with it. And Eugene, was it I was talking to you or somebody else today, and they were like, it was Logan McNulty. I was talking to him today, and he was driving around the Ottawa Valley, and he was like, holy turkey. Like he almost locked up his truck, and it was a brood of probably 20 or 30 turkey in a field, right? Which they're all gathered up right now, which is normal to see big groups of them like that. But and with this mild weather, well, they're obviously starting to come out a little bit more, and there's not as deep snow, and they can get to their food source a little bit easier. But man, I do think that they did do something right managing the turkey population. And now, Quebec has a pretty good population. And then it was only last year, not this
2 years.
past fall, but the fall before, New Brunswick had their first. But that's a draw system in New Brunswick, I believe.
Right, because they're starting it gradually.
Yeah,
That's what you would hope that Ontario would do if they started a crane hunt,
a crane hunt. Yeah,
right?
yeah. It
You hope.
it's exciting times. No, but it really is exciting times. It's exciting times for a bird hunter because now you've got, how many times have you heard the ribeye of the sky, right? Like people describe the crane as such a delicious bird to eat. Um, and it is. It's a new species to chase and a new species to try and learn and get educated on and figure out how they act and stuff. I don't know. All I can think of is they're fucking pterodactyls, man. Like, and don't have your dog like don't. I'll put that out there right now. Don't have your dog out retrieving crane. That's probably not a good idea.
No.
So, and unlike us goose hunters, where sometimes you just get ramped up in the situation and you run out to grab that goose and you leave your gun in the blind. Yeah, don't do that with crane. Make sure you take your gun with you in the crane. Sorry, Eugene, buddy, we got you to come on the show
No, all good.
and you're not even I'm not even really engaging you in conversation. So I apologize, but here's one for you because I've done. I think it was the first time I shot a wild turkey, and I didn't know what to do with it. That it was going to, because everything I bring home, I've got to make it so that my wife and kids will eat it, right? They're not big wild game. Wild turkey on a Traeger, how would you do it? How would you do a breast on the Traeger of wild turkey?
I would probably brine it and then smoke it.
So you know what? Educate me on that because so when I think brine, so all I've ever done when I've done brine.
When I say wet, when I say brine, there's like a wet brine. You know what I mean? Like soaking it in. Yeah.
So all I've ever done is I just rub olive oil over it and just so like if it's a chicken or something like that and I want to do it on rotisserie on the Traeger or something like that, I just rub it in olive oil and put my spices on it. But like when you're talking a brine, like what goes into a brine?
It depends. You can do different things, like obviously water, salt, and then aromatics. Some people do like a citrus aromatics and
Lemon juice,
all that stuff.
buttermilk.
Pickled juice.
What's that?
Pickled juice.
Yep.
Buttermilk.
Anything to get the moisture into that bird, right? And it's not going to dry out. But honestly, like with the Traeger, I've cooked like chickens and turkeys and stuff like that without brining it, and it comes out juicy. But yeah, just it's a good safe method, right? To do. And I mean, all you're doing is putting it in there and leaving it over for 24 hours and then pulling it out.
And the idea behind it is that you're adding more
Moisture.
to the meat so
Sure.
that it doesn't dry out.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with lemon juice and even buttermilk because they will break down the connective tissue in the muscle. So if you soak it too long in lemon
Yeah.
or buttermilk, you might end up with mush.
Really? Yeah, you don't want that. Because when I done it, like somebody told me, they were like, "Oh, just wrap your turkey breast in bacon and grill it that way." And I done it, but I wasn't a huge fan. You know what I mean? Like on the outside, yeah, you got that fat from the bacon and stuff, but I wasn't a big time fan of that. So what I do with mine now, and this could be blasphemous to anybody that's listening, but I cut mine into strips and roll it in fish crisp and deep fry it now. That's what I do with mine, and I fucking love it. But I'm sure there's a better technique, a better recipe for wild turkey.
Yeah.
You know, something I'll have to experiment with come the spring because I'll be fingers crossed, tagging out on 2 this spring, hopefully.
Yeah.
Give it the old college try.
Well, that's all you can do, right? Get the
Next
go
time
hand.
before you deep fry it,
What's that?
next time before you deep fry it,
Yeah.
pour some buttermilk in a bowl, put your strips in it for 45 minutes, and then do your batter.
Oh yeah. What does the buttermilk do?
It does break it down a little. And you get a certain bit of flavor from the buttermilk too. It's buttermilk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
That's just the deep frying side. The grilling side, I'm not an expert on. So
Yeah. What are you guys, and this may be way too early to even ask this question, Eugene, but like what are you guys thinking with regards to samples? Like would it be wild meat that you would do samples at the Toronto Sportsman Show, or would it be
it would be probably like pork. We did lake trout, pork, and then we did like apples at the Toronto Boat Show.
cool?
Yeah.
how are you doing your lake trout?
We actually did Wellington style. So we did it a puff pastry wrap. We put spinach, raspberries, seasoned it up, and then just wrapped it into puff pastry. And then we baked it at like 425 about 15 minutes.
Nice.
Came out pretty good.
Welcome. Fancy.
It sounds fancy, but it tastes really good. It's really easy to do, and that's the thing. There's so many different recipes, right? So we're just showing the versatility of the Traeger, right? So we did smoked apples. So basically, we put like slices of apples and butter and cinnamon, just smoked it to give it like a nice smoked flavor, and put some whipped cream on it. Just kind of show them that way. I'll probably be doing that for my demos this summer too. Actually, with the smoked apples, I'm gonna do like a smoked granola crumble on top of it. So I'll be serving that for my demos this season. Pulled pork's always good to do too. That just gives you the whole thing, and I can do them ahead of time and basically just serve them, warm it up and serve it. So it's
Right.
interesting for me to kind of show the smokiness and stuff of what you can do. Like brisket's good too, but I find the pork holds the best for my demos and stuff, and everybody loves them.
Yeah, well,
And obviously the bacon wrapped Oreos, like those are.
Do you ever do smoked baked beans?
Yep, I've done smoked baked beans before. That's another good one. Smoked cream cheese is really easy. Like all you do is take a bar of cream cheese, get some hash marks in it, put favorite rub on it, smoke it for a couple hours, and then put like a red pepper jelly on top of it. Serve it with like crackers and stuff, and you're good to go. So
Sounds like a brie.
I'm hungry.
yeah.
Well, so I wanted to. So I was at a meeting a bunch of months ago, and a guy at the meeting, he had made smoked mac and cheese, and he had done it on a Traeger. And man, I'm gonna tell you, it was fucking good, like really, really good. So then
How good?
Yeah, really, really good. So then I messaged Eugene, and I'm like, "Can I smoke cheese on the Traeger?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely, you can." So then he's telling me, he was like, "Just put some ice cubes in a tray and put your cheese on top of the ice cubes, and as long as you keep the temperature down and keep an eye on that your ice isn't melting, and instead of a block of cheese, now you're left with a mush of cheese."
Yeah.
And
I
just
like
don't
doing
fuck it up.
Yeah, I like doing smoked Gouda. So I'll just get chunks of Gouda and stuff and smoke them. I usually do it in the winter when it's really cold and just kind of try to keep the temps low.
Yeah.
And smoked Gouda is really good. So you can smoke any kind of cheese and stuff, right? So
But what's your time on smoking cheese?
it depends on how much smoke penetration of smoke flavor you want, right? You can do it. You can do as minimal of half an hour, 45 minutes, and you can just ride it out as long as you want, right? So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good, man. I recommend anybody to try it.
Yeah.
Smoke some of your own cheese, and it was really good. Boys, we're almost at that 50-minute mark here now, and I think it's a good time that we shut this one down, and and get ready for our next one, more or less. So we'll do a quick around the table like we normally do, and then we'll leave last words for Eugene. So, Philly, to you, buddy.
Eugene, always a pleasure, buddy. Obviously, we've known each other for a handful of years, but looking forward to seeing you at the show in, what are we, 6 weeks?
Yeah, about
Yeah.
6 weeks. Yeah, about 6 weeks.
6-7 weeks time, and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to putting your meat in my mouth.
Yeah.
We love you, Lorianne.
Yeah.
Oh, Lorianne.
Yeah. Mark to you, my man.
Good to finally meet you, Eugene.
Absolutely.
I am looking forward to crossing paths with you at the show and sampling your wares when we get there.
Notice that Mark didn't say what Phil said.
No.
Yeah, well, I don't know him that well yet.
Well, well, I know you very well, and I'm pretty certain I'll never hear you say those fucking words. So I'm just saying. So,
Yeah.
Eugene, buddy, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the Sportsman Show. Was it 6 weeks? So it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, man.
Stay tuned for updates. We're gonna have a lot of updates, and once we get the details, we'll let everybody know. And definitely come by the booth. We'll have swag and all that fun stuff. So
yeah, and there's going to be
People are-
some shows. Sorry, buddy, but there's going to be some show specials. Like you can come in there, you can walk out with a brand new grill.
yeah, like
You
we'll
can-
have there's gonna be Dixon's gonna be there with product and stuff like that. So I guess stay tuned or go to the show and see what you can do. So
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
awesome.
You shipped to Nova Scotia, right?
absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely, he says.
I'll
Awesome.
bring one on the plane to Sunday.
There you go. There you go. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 174 of the Union 0430. Yeah, you know the saying. We're not experts. We'll never pretend to be. And
We're adequate at best.
we're adequate at best. And
We're here to have fun.
but you know what? Like this is 100% the type of talks that you have in the blind. We didn't drop as many F-bombs tonight as we normally do, and we didn't go on with some pretty dark humor like we normally do in the blind. But these are the conversations that you and your buddies have. So that's what we're trying to do. Big love. Surround yourself with good people, and we'll see you next week.